Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is David, so if you're new here, hi, welcome. Usually I talk about books on my channel because that's why I am. I'm a booktuber. But recently I've been taking part in a reading marathon called the Blackout Buddy Reads. What this is a reading marathon from the 5th to the 19th of June that encourages you to read anything by either a black author that's got black characters in the book or is about racism. I did a whole video based on what the Blackout Buddy Read is. I won't repeat myself here. But it's on my channel, so please check it out. I do have a playlist that called Black Lives Matter, which that video is in that playlist, as well as a follow-up video, kind of a part 2 called Black Lives Always Matter, which is me just talking about racism in general. And after that, I had a kind of a part 3 or follow-up to that video, which is my review on White Rage, which has currently got 33 views on it, which I know isn't a lot, but for me that is a lot. I do appreciate every single view, every single comment, every single thumbs up, every single subscriber I get. I really do appreciate that. And I really do mean it, guys. And thank you so much for watching this video. I really do mean that as well. All them videos are on my playlist, which is Black Lives Matter. Several people have actually clicked on that playlist, so thank you so much for them. And this is kind of a continuation and a conclusion for them, for the Blackout Buddy Reads. Because after I read White Rage, I was thinking, okay, I've got several days left until this reading marathon finishes. Should I read another book or should I do something else? I was thinking, okay, I've read a book. I'll actually do something else. I'll watch something by a black creator. I know this is a reading marathon and you're supposed to technically read something, but I was thinking, okay, I'll go on Netflix and I'll watch something and review stuff by black creators or black directors or whatever. I mean, I'm doing this from a different point of view and just supporting them and the black community as a whole. So when I went into Netflix, you can search different films and series by categories such as horror, sci-fi, fantasy, and so on and so forth. There is a category called Black Lives Matter on that your Netflix, which I was looking through it and I chose four things, 2 films and 2 documentaries that I'm going to be talking about in this, because there were things that I wanted to watch, such as Bad Boys, Ghost, that's got Whoopi Goldberg in it, and also Coach Carter, which has got Samuel L. Jackson in it, which is a fantastic actor. But I was thinking, okay, I am going to watch them, but I'm just going to only talk about in this video stuff that I saw in the category of Black Lives Matter on Netflix. So yeah, the first thing I watched was a film called See You Yesterday. Sorry, I thought I saw something out the window. So the film See You Yesterday was released in 2019. It's 1 hour and 27 minutes long, and it was directed by someone called Stefan Bristol. I'm not familiar with any of that director's work, so yeah. It does have appearances in it because I mean it's a time traveling movie, so it does have an appearance by Michael J. Fox. In this movie, he's not a major character. He's only one scene, but I think the reason why they got him for this movie is because he was the star of the Back to the Future movies, and he does make a Back to the Future reference in this movie, where he says "Great Scott," which is what Doc Brown says in the first movie. Maybe in the other movies, but mostly in the first one. So that was kind of a nice thing for them to actually do, because I think that this was kind of more influenced by them types of movies. It focuses on 2 teenagers, 1 boy and 1 girl, which the girl is called CJ. I can't remember what the guy is called, but they are both brilliant. But they're both brilliant in acting. CJ, who is played by an actress called Eden Duncan Smith, who is fantastic. She steals every single scene that she's in, and she is so good. She is so good. She's extremely and her character is extremely intelligent, and I mean they both are extremely intelligent. They I mean, they're so smart, they really are. And they have these packs on their backs, kind of like Ghostbusters, and they have these little devices on their arms which they use to operate the time machine which is on their back. And they film the footage of their experiments to document what happens. Yeah. Michael J. Fox plays kind of a teacher figure to CJ, and he kind of encourages her to pursue this time traveling interest. Yeah, and then one day we find out that CJ had. So we find out that CJ has a brother who one day him and his friend are walking in the streets, and these two black guys run past them at full speed, and which are being pursued by the police. And when the police catch up, they mistake CJ's brother and his friend for being the robbers that they are trying to pursue, who these guys have just robbed, a shop, and they are trying to escape, and CJ's brother's been misidentified as being one of these robbers. So in conclusion, this results in them both being shot dead. I think that this wasn't more of a racism thing. This is a case of this mistaken identity, more about race than more about being about racism. And as you can imagine, CJ and her friends are extremely distraught about this. It's been put on the news, and CJ encourages or convinces her friend to use the packs and go back in time, because at this point they have gone back in time and they know that these packs do work. So they both go back in time to save CJ's brother, but the guy says, right, if we do this, we have to abide by certain rules. We cannot be seen by our future selves, and we can't interfere with other events apart from trying to rescue CJ's brother. It's really good. It really is so good. I mean, if you like time traveling movies such as Back to the Future, Bill and Ted, and so on and so forth, you will like this. It should be put next to their movies. It shouldn't be like, so right, here's Back to the Future, here's Bill and Ted, and up here, way at the top, is See You Yesterday. No, it shouldn't be like that. They should be put next to each other. They should be. I mean, this film really should be watched. It really should be. And it doesn't really have much about racism in it. It does have little bits and pieces in it about racism, but it doesn't really have much in it, if that makes sense. So I really enjoyed this. I'll give it 4.5 stars. The reason why I didn't give it the full 5 out of 5 is because the ending was kind of left on a cliffhanger, and but I suppose it was cool rather than having all the little plot points like tied up in a little bow and said, right, now this is the ending, and then everyone lived happily ever after, because life isn't like that. But yeah, it's really good. I would highly recommend that you watch it. The next thing I watched, which is a documentary called Becoming, which is a documentary based on the book by Michelle Obama, who, if you don't know who that is, it's President Barack Obama's wife. As I said, this is a documentary. It was released this year. It's 129 minutes. It's a 1 hour and 29 minutes long, rather. Sorry. And its director is someone called Nadia Hallgreen. Again, I'm not familiar with any of them, about any of her work. So this is a documentary about Michelle Obama and her life in general. She's an extremely incredible human being. One thing that she talks about in the documentary is that when she talks to you, she looks you straight in the eye, ignores everything that's actually happening around you and anyone around you, and just focuses entirely on you and your and what you've got to say, regardless whether it's good or bad. And she's extremely warm and generous, and she's actually such an incredible person. I can't wait to read this book. I really cannot wait. Whether you got to read the book before you read this whether you watch this documentary and then or whether you have to watch this documentary and then read the book, or whether they're companion pieces, whether the documentary and the book are kind of companions to one another. So I don't know whether this documentary will spoil the book for you, but it didn't matter. I love this. It does talk about her struggles with the White House and her experiences with being the First Lady, and her struggles, her family struggles at Barack Obama's, and her struggles and the kids' struggles to be the first black president to actually go into the White House. It does touch briefly on racism, but not much. And it does talk a lot about Michelle's past life as well. It talks about her brother and her family as well, so it's really cool. This was an absolute joy to watch. It really is. I can't wait to rewatch this, and also, as I said, to read the book. I couldn't give it more than a lower grade of lower than 5, so I'm going to give it full marks, 5 out of 5. Sorry about the noise. There's a helicopter going outside, so apologies for that. There's usually some helicopters going on outside, so yeah, sorry about that. So Becoming, I would highly recommend it. Really fantastic, full marks. Next one I watched, which is called Mudbound. I know I am wearing a Slytherin shirt, and I didn't watch this purely because of the name. I know Mudbound is a reference in the Harry Potter films and in the books, but I didn't watch it because of that. I watched it because I read the synopsis of it, and it does seem interesting, and it interested me, so that's the reason why I watched it. It focuses on 2 families, one white and one black. And they are both living in Mississippi. Sorry. The white family, I wouldn't say privileged, but they're kind of rich, and they are trying to move into Mississippi, into this bigger house, which some complications arise, and they have just discovered that they've been kind of conned. So they go into to actually find this broken shack, this rundown shack that's surrounded by all this wet mud. Mud is a kind of a big part of this film. It is shot so beautifully, and it is a beautiful film, even though it does talk about racism, but only on the sides or in the background. But I'll mention that here in a minute. So we find out that the white family, who consists of a mother, father, 2 girls, and a grandfather, who is the grandfather figure is extremely racist towards the black farming family. Even when they go up to the house to help them move in, or when the black wife helps them, the kids, when they're sick, or when the mother is sick, and to help them in general, he's sitting in a corner somewhere and being racist, all the time, and making all these unnecessary comments. I was actually thinking, do you know what? It would be so beautiful if this film, by the end of this movie, if this guy turns around from being extremely racist to accepting this black family. That would be one beautiful thing. But that's not how it goes. He continues being racist towards the family, which is extremely upsetting. But the families in general are very accepting of one another. This is after this. The events of this movie happen after slavery. So but everyone in the town is extreme. They actually do go past. These white guys do go past the black family's shack and look at them in a weird way and throw a bottle at them, and everyone in the town's always looking at them weird. because they're black. I mean, it's but some people do make some comments in it, but it's not a lot. It's kind of, as I said, it's in the background. This film is extremely beautiful in other aspects as well. Both the families are having these, because this is all done in the war. So the both families have these two guys that come back in the war, one from the black family, one from the white family. The white soldier was a pilot in the war, and when he comes back from the war, the grandfather figure, who is his dad, says to him that he asks him how many people did he kill, and he said that he should look someone in the eye when they are being when he kills them, rather than going up in a plane and dropping a bomb on a series of little dots that are running around. So he's basically being an a-hole throughout the whole thing. And also his brother, the white family, the white farmer, doesn't really accept him that much, and he has kind of a crush on the farmer's wife as well, but that's kind of a side plot. And he's extremely traumatized by the events of what happened in the war as well. And he becomes friends with the black soldier who comes back from the war as well. The same war, but he's more of a ground person. He is a tank operator, pretty much, and he has a relationship with a white German lady, which is extremely enjoyable to watch, because it's actually so incredible when I see interracial couples out and about. But it's so beautiful. So they both become really close friends, and yeah, and but in the end, there is a really uncomfortable scene with the KKK in their ridiculous uniforms as well. And it was extremely hard to actually watch. I was nearly going to click off or skip forward, but I thought, no, it's essential for me to watch this. It's important for me to watch this uncomfortable scene, because this is what black people went through, and they couldn't skip through it, so why should I? But what I will say is that I won't say what happens at the end, but what I will say is that the black guy doesn't die. He isn't killed by the KKK. He does live, which is a massive plus, I suppose. And it does end on a very happy, melancholy note. So even though it's uncomfortable with its racism, it is a thing that should be watched. But I give it 4 stars just because of the racism in it. It made me feel uncomfortable, but it really was enjoyable. Also, the black actor was played by someone called Jason Mitchell, which made appearances in Kong Skull Island as well as Straight Outta Compton. So that's a little fact for you. And the last thing I watched was last night, which was a documentary called Quincy, which, as you probably guessed, it's a documentary about Quincy Jones, which is the famous jazz musician and artist, who was a composer and a producer of music. Again, he is such a really great human being. I mean, music flows through his veins. I mean, he is so cool and laid back. And actually, like Becoming, it does talk a lot of, it is entirely narrated from Quincy's point of view. It does talk about his marriages, his mother, who is committed to a mental hospital. It does talk about his background when he was living as a kid, and he was eating rats and possums because that's the only thing that he could actually eat, at the time. And how he got into music and all that, and it is extremely interesting as well. I'm not really familiar with any of Quincy's work. Obviously, I know who the guy is, but I've never really listened to any of his stuff. Yeah, I know he's produced loads of Michael Jackson's songs, but yeah. But we do but is extremely family orientated. We do spend a lot of time with his kids and his family, and it's really cool. It really is. I can't really recommend it enough. I mean, I didn't know if I probably didn't say this, but it was released in 2018. It is 2 hours and 4 minutes long, and it was directed by two guys, or two people rather. One called Rashada Jones. Sorry if I've said that name wrong. And Alan Hicks. So this was the only thing that I really watched during the Blackout Buddy Reads, or Blackout Buddy Watch, rather. That was directed by two people. But again, it's fantastic. 5 stars. I'll probably like documentaries more than films. But yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, this is the conclusion for my Blackout Buddy Read. Yeah. Really marathon experience, rather, whatever you want to call it. I am going to continue doing this probably next year, so I'm looking forward to that. It's probably going to be a thing that I do every single year. So yeah, thank you for watching. Sorry if I've been a bit rambling as well. Thank you so much if you've watched the whole thing. I really do appreciate it. I really do. And this is the conclusion to the Blackout Buddy Read. This is going to be in the Black Lives Matter playlist, and I am going to be doing other things for that playlist, such as I'm going to be reading the Children of Blood and Bone, which was written by a black author, and other things that I read by black authors will be in that playlist. So thank you so much. Also, please do watch my other my other videos rather. And if you've liked this, please give it a like. A thumbs up, rather, a like, comment, and subscribe. And, yeah. Please do accept each other, guys, no matter what your race is. Forget the white race, forget the black race, Asian race, whatever. Think about the human race. That's what I would say. And accept each other, no matter what your shade of your skin is. We are all the same. And, there are 7 billion people on the planet, roughly. And we are all not going to like each other. But what we can do is we can accept each other or tolerate each other. I work at, in retail. Do you think that I've liked every single person who I've worked with? There have been people that I have extremely disliked, but I've tolerated them because you've got to be professional in that. Yeah, you've got to be professional, and you're and all that. So please. Think about that when you're out and about. You may not like someone. If you're a white person and you don't like a black person, fair enough. But just don't dislike them because of their shade of their skin. But yeah, just accept each other, love each other, guys. Really love each other. And then accept each other. The world's a beautiful place as it is. And during this reading marathon, trust me, there is a lot of hatred in the world, and it isn't going to go away anytime soon. But come on, we've all got to learn to accept each other. So yeah, that's just been my rambling on, really. Thank you so much. Please watch my other videos for this Buddy Reads, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye.